Welcome everyone to Weekend Escapades. Today we have found our way down 89A through Arizona to the Vermillion Cliffs and some amazing dwellings made of stone in the hillside. Be sure to like and subscribe and turn on that notification bell as it lets you know when we put up new videos and keeps our channel strong. And here it is. This is the stone house at Cliff Dwellers Lodge. This is located just off of 89A, and I mean just off the road. The Cliff Dwellers Stone House has a really unique story. During the Great Depression, Blanche Russell and her husband Bill packed their stuff and moved to the Southwest. Bill was suffering from tuberculosis, and the couple was hoping to take advantage of the health benefits of the dry desert air. While driving through Marble Canyon back in 1927, they broke down. After a few failed attempts to fix the car, they found themselves stuck here. And after a night or so, Blanche and Bill, drawn to the beauty of the land, well, they decided to build their home here. And initially, the house was built from tar paper and boards leaning against the large rocks. And eventually, they built this successful trading post area, and they stayed here and made it their home. Eventually, this expanded into a restaurant and a gas station, and the original structures still remain here today. And these are some amazing structures, but look at these rocks, the way they're just balancing around here as well. We're going to take a look at all that as we come up here and get inside this dwelling and see how it was built. Not only has Mother Nature made this area absolutely beautiful, with the erosion of the ground underneath and the boulders teetering on top, but also the man-made beauty of the buildings that were constructed around these large boulders. I found that very interesting. And let's take a look inside the first building. Now this is the exterior towards the roadside, where they have built a room here. Looks like maybe somebody had stayed, because there's like a main dwelling, and this is like an extra building alongside of the boulder. And you see how they've made this out of flat rock and also maybe like some type of sand mortar combination. And they built this fireplace, or a place to stay warm. Maybe a place to heat something up there on top of that hearth. But very unique, and this has been here for quite some time. And the views from this location, they knew exactly where to put the windows, because every window has a beautiful view of the mountains and the giant boulders that have rolled down from the Vermilion Cliffs. Now, Blanche and Bill spent about 10 years here. And what they did was they sold this to a rancher named Jack Church. He turned the restaurant into a bar. In the middle of World War II, a third owner, Evelyn Green and Art, they bought this location in 1943. They were, of course, retaining the old dwellings that consisted of about 8 buildings and a gas generator. The lodge offered guided boat tours for the Colorado River, which is just about 10 minutes away from this location. I am sure when Blanche and Bill broke down along the roadside here and built this attraction, they had no idea it would become so popular. These are some of the most amazing rock formations I've seen. You can see the boulders are just teetering on top of what looks to be more of an unstable soil down below that gets eroded from water. It becomes smaller and smaller. Eventually those boulders are just going to roll right off. Take a look at this one over here. The way it's just barely standing or teetering on top of this little mound of dirt on the bottom. You can see here the size of that boulder there. And it probably wouldn't take much to have that come down. To be honest, it makes me a little nervous just standing under it. And this one here the same way. Giant boulder. And just teetering right here, and you can see how loose it is. It's just literally, it's starting to decay underneath, or erode, I guess is the right word. And this giant boulder is just teetering right on top of this different style rock. So that's what happens. You get a different type of soil on the bottom and the stone on the top, and erosion, and eventually it'll come down.
All those years of water passing through here has probably created that. You can see this one. The other, not as high as the others, but you can see how it's already made kind of a little tunnel of erosion through there. Over this direction, more towards the cliffside, some other little dwellings that were built here by the homesteaders. And this one over here has a little bit of wood and stone construction. Whether that would have been a little dwelling or a storage area, I don't know. Little entrance here. That's probably part of the roof that's came down. I doubt it was this high. It's probably much higher. Little wood area. Maybe this was the outhouse. I don't know. If it wasn't the outhouse, maybe a little storage shed, but wood planking in there and construction. Made out of logs. An old pioneer log dwelling of some sort. Now back up here, up the hill, I see there's a little draw here, but I also see some wood construction, kind of hidden. See what this is all about. Oh yeah, look at that. It's another little area where something was built. A little lean-to or something where maybe it was an animal pen or something where they kept them out of the weather. See, it was a roof kind of construction there. And then this was all kind of hollowed out, maybe by water, or maybe people hollowed it out. Looks like they might have kept animals or something in there.
Now, just by looking around and seeing the views from this location, it's no wonder they stayed and made this a roadside attraction and a place for people to stay. Now, this was all sandstone, and that's why it eroded. The boulders fell down, and of course, the water washed it all away.
As you walk up on this one here, you can see they've redone the roof, because I've seen somebody else who videoed this, and the roof was coming in, so they've actually taken the time and the energy, which is great, to put a new roof on this. I don't know how long ago it was or how old the video was that I saw. It actually smells fairly fresh. You can smell the wood. In the last video I saw, it was coming down pretty bad. And that chimney looks like it might have been helped back into place as well. It was falling down a little bit, but that looks great. I'm glad they're restoring this and keeping it up. And they've got some wood holding it up inside, which is nice to see. Well, this is inside like the main dwelling. This is the biggest part of it that is preserved. And again, it's built around this giant boulder that's just kind of held up by the ground underneath it. It hasn't eroded all the way yet. Well, they decided to use this rock as one of the dwellings, and there's another large boulder here that's part of it. And they've just incorporated it into the rock. These beams were here before, except this part of the roof was all fallen in. You can see they put all new lumber, which is great. And there's the little fireplace with the chimney from outside. So just a little bit of a fireplace. And then a big slab of rock for a fireplace hearth. And the same thing they've done here. They just kind of framed out the window for support, but it had that original stone there for the windowsill. Hey, graffiti found its way in here as well. Not as bad as most places, but it did find its way. And this is just another big slab of stone, but you can see they put some like mortar or something over the top of it to seal it. Back in the day they did. Found a smooth spot, so people are using Sharpies to graffiti on it. Look at the view they would have had from this window. You can see how big that rock is. that they used for part of a roof and the way they did the construction. They just basically put the stone right up to it and some mortar around it. And then the lodge pole that sticks through the roof beams. And over this direction in the parking lot, looks like there's a little bit of maybe a native arts and crafts sale here that they do. There's a couple places. Take a look at all the items they've got over here.
And there was a lot of native artwork, some vases, jewelry, and some handcrafted things. Dream catchers, of course. They were all here at the location. Great place to stop by and pick up some I guess, gifts, touristy items. So after taking one last look at the location and these teetering rocks, that one looks like a giant ice cream cone, and the Vermillion Cliffs off in the background, we're going to head down the road, and we found an amazing overlook to see an amazing view. When you look from Arizona, you can see all of Utah from this location right here. And I'm going to share with you the locations we have seen from this viewpoint. This is the LaFerve Overlook. Beautiful views from here, nothing but blue sky and the Utah mountains off in the distance. Now there's a beautiful picnic bench in here, all made out of stone, and you can see the stone structure there really matches the landscape. Now you can see all the way from Pipe Springs, that's the area there in Utah that we filmed before, all the way to the coral pink sand dunes, and from there you can see Dixie National Forest and Zion National Park. And the Colorado Range is off in the distance. So much you can see from this location. If you're ever in this area, be sure you stop and see. You got to stop at this viewpoint to take a look at the view from here. We hope you enjoyed this trip to the Vermillion Cliffs in northern Arizona and the stone houses at Cliffside. And until our next adventure, goodbye from Weekend Escapades, and we'll see you in the next one.